What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the James Harden and Ben Simmons trade. This trade was definitely the biggest trade all year, and I just want to get into it because I have a lot of thoughts on it. So with this trade, Brooklyn received Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, as well as 2 first-round picks, one being in 2022 and the other being in 2027. And in return, Philadelphia received James Harden and Paul Millsap. A lot of people have a lot to say about this, but my thoughts are this. Ben Simmons has not played all season. He's been a huge issue for Philadelphia, and I think the 76ers had no choice but to get rid of him. Obviously, he wanted the trade. He refused to play. So obviously, any trade benefits Philadelphia to where they were before, with a guy who wouldn't get off the bench. But with this, obviously, comes leverage. With teams knowing that Ben Simmons would not play for them, obviously, they have trade leverage, and that's exactly what happened here. Brooklyn completely fleeced the 76ers. Obviously, James Harden is more valuable than Ben Simmons, but the fact that the Nets were able to get the return that they got for James Harden, who also didn't really want to play for them, is just unbelievable to me. James Harden's 34 years old and is going to continue to get paid until he's 39 by the Nets if they didn't trade him. So I think for the Nets, this was the best move possible to get rid of Harden's contract. Harden's averaging 22.5 points per game with 10.2 assists and a field goal percentage of 41.4. Obviously, he's valuable, but in my opinion, Ben Simmons has much more of an impact on the Nets than James Harden would. That entire Nets team has been going through a lot since KD, Kyrie, and Harden linked up. Obviously, Kyrie couldn't play because of the COVID thing. He's just starting to play now, as well as dealing with injuries between Harden and Kyrie. I just think that trio does not work. Jump shot or not, a Ben Simmons who can play most games is going to have way more of an impact than Harden. And look, I think that this trade is beneficial to both teams. I think that both fan bases should be ecstatic. So when I say that the Nets fleeced them, or when I say that the Nets won that trade by a mile, I don't think the 76ers should be unhappy about that. So once again, you have a superstar who's not playing or refuses to play. So literally any trade that gets rid of him and gets anything in return is going to be an upgrade, and that's exactly what happened. They got James Harden, and him linking up with Joel Embiid makes them the team to beat in the East. Definitely puts them up as a title favorite among a few other teams, so I think that both teams should be ecstatic. Obviously, the Nets have had issues over the past couple of weeks, so this trade definitely changes things for both teams. Harden's going to add a lot to that team. A scorer and a playmaker like Harden is going to be huge for that team to really make a playoff run. So the Nets clearly did a great job on that trade. They were able to get a lot of value, and even without Harden, they're still going to be able to make a great run with Simmons. So if they can really get their stuff together and start putting together wins, and even if they make the play-in tournament, I fully expect them to be a title candidate like they have been for the past couple of years. So if they can stay healthy and those three guys can actually play consistently and together as a team, I think they're going to be title candidates as well. So if I were a Nets fan, I'd be out of my mind excited about this. This opens up a world of opportunities for them. So definitely looking forward to seeing both of those teams in the playoffs this year. Hopefully the Nets in the playoffs, but we're going to have to see if they can get it together. But regardless, this trade helped both teams, and both of them are now going to be able to make a run.